Hello, it's me again, Mrs. Ringrose, and you probably don't need me to fill this out, but I'm going to talk about some of the transformations together and maybe make you really excited about what all these things mean. So, you are expected to know all the key features of the exponential function. This is the one with the a and the b. You can also think of the parent function as being e to the x, where the initial value would be 1, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about. So the domain of any exponential function that has not been transformed is going to be all real numbers, right? So think about it. I can take a base like 2 or e and raise it to a negative power. I can take a base and raise it to the 0 power. And if the range, though, is going to be 0, but it's going to be a non-inclusive parenthesis, and it's going to go on forever because we know that there's like this little tail here, right? Because it can never be negative, and then it's going to go and it's going to shoot up. And this point right here is 1. That's my y-intercept if it hasn't been transformed, or if there's not an initial value. And so it gets really tricky because I can have a function that has an initial value and then it's also been shifted up. So, we'll have to talk about all those different kinds of things. Is it continuous? Yes. Continuous means that if I were to trace it from the tail all the way up, I don't have to ever take my pencil off of the paper, which is true. Is there symmetry? No. Bounded. I know you guys have seen that in homework and you probably don't know what that is. It's not a big deal for me. I think it's a big deal for calculus. Bounded means, is there like a line or imaginary line that like keeps it from crossing over? And the answer is yes. We know that it's never going to cross over the x-axis. So there's actually an asymptote there. And so I'm going to jump down here. And the asymptote is y equals 0. It's never going to cross it. We can never, if you try to like solve for any exponential where it equals 0, you're going to get an error. That's just never going to happen. And extrema is there's actually none. That means max or min. It's even though like it's kind of bottoming out at 0, it's never going to cross it. And it's certainly going to go up forever. So we say there's no maxes and no mins. I'm going to put this here because I think some of you guys still don't know what extrema means. It's okay. All right, so increasing or decreasing, the parent function is increasing on its entire domain. And y-intercept is going to be at 1 if it hasn't been shifted. And the x-intercepts are none. They do not exist. So typically we don't solve for zeros with this function. We solve for when it crosses some other line. Okay? All right, so just really quickly, because I know that I'm boring. You're on a good day, and videos are even more boring. Just talk about some transformations. We obviously didn't really do any transformations, but I want to review with you when it's with the input, when the transformation, and I graded your tests, so I know that you guys are struggling with this. When it's with the input, you're going to start with horizontal, or a word that's synonymous with horizontal, right? So this is a translation because it's a plus or a minus. So it's a horizontal translation. I know that when it's shifted on the input, it kind of goes backwards. So this one has been shifted right 1 unit. All right, and again, that's because that number of -1 is with the input. All right, the next one, this one we will talk about more when I'm in person, but it's really important that you understand what's going on here. A negative exponent means that we reciprocate it, right? So that means those actually mean the same thing. And I know you know enough about exponential functions that when you see a base of 1/2, you know this is decay. So let's think about this, right? If 2 to the x looks like this, and then I use that negative and I change it to 1/2, now it looks like this. That's been a reflection across the y-axis, right? So again, it's a horizontal reflection because it's with the input. And so we're going to say reflected across y-axis. So, or you can say horizontally reflected, either one. And then finally, this is a 3 outside, so it's a vertical transformation. It's an output thing. So we would say this has been vertically stretched by 3. And we're going to do some harder ones together next, like after break. So sorry if you need to go back and pause me to copy that. That's fine. So this is like, I think, really challenging, and I'm going to leave this with you to try to kind of figure out. I know you can't really see the C because of the way it copied, so just, take your time to draw it in now. You should be able to do a best guess without a graphing calculator. That's what this is for. Like, think about like the decays and the vertical stretches and like how this is going to change the behavior of the graph. And then we'll go over these answers tomorrow. And then also 7 through 10, these are some good like brain teasers, I think. I really like these kind of ones. And you'll certainly on a test or quiz get something similar to this where, you won't get 6 at a time, but maybe like 2 or 3 at a time. And you have to, tell me which one is which, because I think that makes it a little bit more fun, like a puzzle. And then also, if you can work on some of these, you can just do like the odds, I guess. Yeah, odds sounds kind of good. And, you should be able to sketch these graphs and, explain. I mean, 17 through 22, you should do the rest of them because it shouldn't take you too long. But if you only have time for odds, that's fine. And then this one we can wait until I get back. These ones are kind of challenging. But good luck. Hopefully I'll get to see you soon. Bye.